Well, it's been all over the social media lately, that crash with that Porsche and the BMW at the Nürburgring. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was AI. The accident was that severe. It was something I haven't seen for a long time. The fireballs, everything on fire. There's no doubt that that crash at the Nürburgring with the Porsche and the BMW was probably one of the craziest crashes I've seen in a long time, and I've definitely seen a lot of them. But we're going to go through this video and analyse exactly what's happened as a race driver, also as an official, but also someone that's been there before. So we're going to cut the guts out of this one. We're going to find out who was really at fault, have a think about what can improve, and see what we come in with at the end. So make sure to put your comments on what you think below in the video. I'd love to see your thoughts as well. Now, before we get really kicked off, you might see that I'm not in my workshop. I'm actually in a hangar. I'm here down with Shoreflight. I'm actually learning how to fly while I'm down here. One of our great sponsors has come on board and they're teaching me how to fly a plane, which is absolutely crazy. So if you are looking at ever becoming a pilot, or you're looking at commercial flights or going around anywhere, you want to make sure that your flights are perfect, you need to talk to these guys. These guys are the best in the business. But let's talk about this crash. So, starting off with the video. Now, the footage we got given us is not only of the aftermath of the crash, we've also got the security images from the track, which is probably a telltale sign of what's exactly happened, and we've also got the in-car, the Porsche. So we're pretty good with the footage we got given. Usually we don't get a lot of footage from this type of stuff. People keep it quite quiet. BMW, we haven't got any footage on board of them, but we can only go off what we've seen online. So establishing where they are on the track, it looks like they're around the Flugplatz or the Cottonburn side of the track, so, or Cottonborn, I should say. Don't shoot me on my pronunciations. I'm not German, I'm a bogan Aussie, so the only corners I know how to pronounce are the ones at Mount Panorama, if anything. So we can see that side of the track is quite a high speed part of the track. You know, the Porsche is carrying quite a fair bit of speed. We're seeing over 160, 170 kilometers an hour. This is a performance car. Both of them are really, really good performance cars, so they've definitely got some speed on them. Starting up the video here, on board with the Porsche, we can see it's closing up on the BMW quite rapidly until it comes up to the first left-hander. The Porsche pulls off speed, the BMW is turning in. It does miss the apex, but the BMW has the corner. It has the rights to the corner. The Porsche does the right thing and it slows up behind. Next bit we see the Porsche is getting a bit aggressive. The BMW moves to the right-hand side. The Porsche moves to the inside, doing about 180 kilometers an hour. It's looking for a move. And you and me both thinking we can't see the corner up above, so I don't know how experienced these two race drivers are, or tourist drivers, I should say. This is just a track day. They might not know what's coming up. They might not have the experience. They're still feeling out the corners. We're not sure without doing a deep dive into who the exact drivers are. BMW on the right, Porsche's on the left, steering wheel's left hand down a little bit as they're coming up to the corner. Now, as they come over the corner, the closing speed is quite rapid. All of a sudden, we've lost sight of the BMW on the right-hand side. The Porsche's up and nearly going over the curb, but looking at the onboard, you would assume the move is done. Now, and that's what a lot of people think from that, but we know what happens next. If you've seen the footage online, playing it through, he gets a tap from the right-hand rear. It sends him into the barriers. They both collect there and a fiery mess is from there. We can probably see where the major part of the accident is when he does come into contact, there's an opening on the track. So while it is a bit smooth, it's not a full, flat, smooth finish through there. That can be one reason of why the car ripped apart. The Porsche on the front end though, because the engine's in the rear, they are known to rip that front end off. So whilst it does look scary, it is kind of doing its job, but obviously something that severe is not ideal. If you've ever been to a Porsche Cup race or a Sprint Cup race, you'll see if they do run into the back of each other or bump into each other, the first thing that crumples is that front end, and the mechanics are pretty good at ripping those front ends off, drilling all the panels out, and pretty much welding on and bolting on a new section. So in that footage, it's a bit inconclusive. I want a bit more. So, you know, did the BMW turn down? Did they get squeezed? Was it the inappropriate place to start overtaking? It's a bit up in the air. So I believe the footage from the security camera that was on track is the incriminating footage. As I go through it on my iPad, we'll have it up on the screen. If we go slow-mo, looking right up the top, and it's behind that 82, it's unfortunate that it's really covering that section, we can see the BMW is giving plenty of room to the Porsche. They can both come through the corner exactly at the same speed, at the same time. There will be no issues. But as we start to move it increment by increment, that BMW is turning down on the Porsche. There is no doubt about it. That BMW has either A, not seen the Porsche, or B, done it out of purpose, but I believe that's very, very rare in a case. I think it's a case because these are tourist laps, these guys are feeling it out for maybe the first time. He just didn't see that Porsche coming up on them. That's where they had the accident. The BMW hits the back end of the Porsche, sends them both into the barrier. Fireballs erupt. Very scary, like absolutely scary. How these guys walked away from it is just absolutely mind-blowing. So there's a few factors here that we need to put into play. Now, if this was a racing situation, I will put it down that the BMW was at fault. He is the one that caused the accident. The Porsche had all the room in the world and made the move not a problem. But we're talking racing situations. We're talking people that are very, very spatially aware of who's behind them and who's in front of them. And at the same time as well, a racing driver wouldn't leave that gap open. See, that was a big problem that I did see. He was a little bit off the apex on the first corner. No fault, he's doing his lap as need be, but he was well off the apex, well off that apex for the second one. He should have been a lot tighter there, especially as that Porsche was coming underneath him. But now we have to put in the thought of these are tourist laps. And the last time I went over there and visited that place, they treat it like a highway. Well, it is a highway. You're allowed to do open speed there, but you still have to respect the highway rules as you're going along there. So they might see it that, you know, the Porsche might be the problem here of not being able to pass effectively. They might see it as the BMW not signalling out of the way. It might be put as well, not such a racing incident, but a road going incident. So we've got two ways of thinking of it there. A flat out race, I would say that the BMW was at fault. I'd say the Porsche did the right thing and got past efficiently. But going into the Nürburgring 24-hour rules, we know there was a lot of controversy in this year's 24-hour. It is up to the car behind to make a safe and efficient pass. So that plays in a bit of play there. You know, did they make a safe and efficient pass? Me, I believe, yes, they did. I believe the BMW was not aware of them, which seems to be the most cases of crashes at Nürburgring. The BMW's turn down on them, unaware, and the accident is unfolded. So a lot to unpack there. What are your thoughts on what happened? Do you believe that the Porsche was at fault? Do you believe the BMW was at the fault? Do you believe that things need to be cleaned up at the Nürburgring? They need to fix up their tourist sessions. I'd love to hear down below what you guys are thinking. But thank you for tuning in for another video. We're going to be doing a hell of a lot more videos as our race meetings are coming up, especially with the exciting news of our Bathurst 1000 preparations as well. Stay posted, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.